Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to another episode of Hold My Beer. Noice. Nice one, brother. Now, we have two replays for you today. We have the first one in the M6 Yo, and we have another one in the T110E5. So we have two American tanks for you today. Both heavies, both tier 10, and both do a crazy amount of damage. So first up, we are watching Angry Bird. I think it's supposed to be Angry Bird, Angry BRD, and from the Vale clan. Great clan, great player, and a great tank. So Normandy, it's a good map for this tank, great map for a tank with gun depression, and a great map for tank with a good turret. And the M6 Yo is basically it's got both. It's got great gun depression, it's got good armor, it's got a nice, very, very nice gun that could do a great amount of damage in a short amount of time. As we see there, in 1.7 seconds, he managed to do 1002 damage into that enemy tank across the hill there. So a good start for Angry, and now he has the E75, manages to track him, and he does another decent amount of damage. Not as high as the first magazine, but you know, it's still, he's now up to 1.8k damage with 2 clips out. So he's in a good position, great position for this tank. Always try and use the tank's armor for its advantage. Use the gun depression, use the turret, and of course try and get your shots out. Make sure you don't miss or don't bounce. Aim your shots if you have to. 1.7 seconds, and you could do sort of 1000 damage in that short amount of time. You have to make sure that you get those shots out, because if you bounce them, then of course your DPM will dramatically decrease. So always make sure you aim fully and just try your hardest to not bounce and just do damage, because once you do that, then the tank becomes really freaking strong. Really, really strong. 771 there with heat is not too bad at all. So now the team are starting to fall apart. I mean, they are still winning, but they are losing on supremacy points, and the enemy mediums and the light tank has now started flanking around. So the Pajero is after the T92, which is the correct choice for the Pajero. What is this Yag Tide doing? Get out the way, Yag. We need to try and help our T92 here. The Sheridan is a one-shot, so we need to take care of him. But of course, he's going for the Pajero. Now, I would probably look for the Sheridan, but he's probably going for damage here. Probably thinking, you know what, my magazines will do better clearing this tank rather than the Sheridan that has low amount of hit points. But that was the wrong choice, because the Sheridan has actually now killed the Death Star. So there goes the Sheridan. Luckily, I mean, even though I think he was wrong in going for the Pajero, he does manage to keep the T92 alive, which in effect does go and kill the Sheridan. So either way, it didn't really matter of his choice. Now the Pajero is taking him out. He's brought him down to now 600 hit points, and again the T92 that he kept alive has now taken care of the Pajero. So he's actually, him coming back to keep the T92 alive has maybe even changed the outcome of this game. So there is still a full hit point IS-7 to deal with. There's the Jaegeru from earlier to deal with, and of course there is the E75 to deal with as well. Now the E75, he's only on 595 hit points, but it's still going to take 2 shots to clear this guy. And this is what I love about that intro clip. I mean, any other auto loader would not have been able to get that shot, because the E75 was backing up, and because of that 1.7 second intro clip, he was able to get that shot off. And now they are doing the right thing. They are losing on quite a lot on supremacy points, so going for one of those bases is absolutely vital. And of course, going for D would probably be a good option as well, just to stop those supremacy points going up. Now, the Jaegeru is still fairly healthy, and of course the IS-7 is still full hit points as well. But no one wants to cap the base, because of course the IS-7 is looking this way. Now, you don't want to get in front of the Jaegeru He is looking this way, and he is a one-shot. Gets a nice bounce there from the IS-7, and he's just taking the attention of this Jaegeru, and as soon as he turns, he is able now to fire 2 shells, puts a nice fire into him, and that clears him, and he's now on 6.7k damage. It's a 3 versus 1, but they are still losing on supremacy points. Now, if I was the T92, I would definitely just run around the map. He's a one-shot. Go running around the map, maybe cap A or even cap B. But B is probably a bit too close to the IS-7. But the IS-7 actually misses his shot, so hopefully the T92 should be able to take that base, just to put a little bit of pressure onto this IS-7, and hopefully they could just build their supremacy points up a lot more now. So it's still winnable for the IS-7. There is still, what, 2 one-shots? Maybe, yeah, 2 one-shots. Well, he's not a one-shot, but now he is. So now there is 2 one-shots, but his Amarak is absolutely busted. He's able to get the 2 shells and then go out of sight again and just hide around over this this hill. And at the minute, there isn't really much the IS-7 could do. There's tanks all around him, and he just doesn't know which tank to go for, and our guy Angry is just not giving him that option to go for him. He's a one-shot. He's waiting for him to look away, and he's just going to attack now. There's one shot, and he's now a one-shot, and there is this second shot. So really, really good play there from the T92 as well. The T92 had a great game, and keeping him alive was absolutely vital. He manages to end on 8,900 damage. Gets the steel wall, blocks a lot of shots, and you can see there the T92, 2 kills there, decent amount of XP, 2,500 damage, and they both pretty much carried this game. So keeping that guy alive was absolutely vital for this win. So GG there, Angry, and thank you for sending me that replay in. Next up, we have Catfish 017301_Colt. So Himmelsdorf. Now the Himmelsdorf is a great map. I love this map. It's good for pretty much all kind of tanks, mediums, heavies, even TDs. There are still TD spots. Yes, there's no hills on the map, but you can still sit far back, and if you open your you open your the enemy team right, and they go in the right position, then you can still snipe from across the map. Well, there's only certain ways you can do that, and of course this side you need to sit at the back, sort of back there where that foss really is. So there is still some sniping positions, but it is all flat, and this is probably one of my favorite maps because it is good for pretty much every map, every tank. You can have a tank with gun depression or with some turret armor, and there's always somewhere that you can hide your hole. Even here, you don't have to have hills or dunes or anything like that to use a tank with gun depression and a good turret. This map is just perfect for everything. And our guy in the E5, the E5 is a fantastic tank. Played correctly, it is such a strong tank. Considering now Wargaming have gave it the speed boost as well, just makes that tank a little bit more better. But this is an all-round kind of tank. It's a heavy, it's a medium, it's got great DPM for a heavy tank, it's got great armor, and of course it does have great speed as well. So we're going to watch a game now, and this is just a fantastic game. It's all about damage. He bounces a lot of shots as well. You can see already he's bounced 810 damage, sorry. So he's already up to 1100 damage at the moment. But you know, it is supremacy. The enemy does have cap A. They are also capping base B as well. So you always have to be careful when playing supremacy. A lot of people out there don't play it as supremacy. They just play it as a normal encounter game. And I know I always say that you shouldn't do it. If you're going to play supremacy correctly. We are now, our guy Catfish, he's pushed quite far forward. He didn't expect the other E75 to be here. So there's 2 E75 and of course the IS-4 that is very low hit points as well. So he really has to try and take care of this IS-4. But with 2 E75s around him as well, it's not going to be easy to take care of this guy. But he is just blocking damage left, right, center. These guys are not aiming very well, and he's just blocking everything. He had 3 tanks all around him, and he was still full hit points, and he's now up to 3,000 block damage, 3,300 block damage, and he's on 3,600. So now that IS-4 is got out of the game, he can now just focus out this this E75. His team have now just started to push with him, so he does have that backup. But I'm thinking, you know what? He doesn't even need this backup. Even without his team, he'll be able to take care of these guys. They're still bouncing him. 3,600 damage now. Please no, says the E75. Unfortunately, E75, the name of the game is to clear the team. Why? Well, you know, that is the whole reason of the game, to kill the enemy team. So bad shot there on the top of the hole, but I think I don't know if there's some connection issue or some lag, but that was yeah, that wasn't great. So he's now up to 5.3k damage. Even though his team are behind him, they haven't really helped. I know they took out the E75, but I mean, and they took out this E75, but honestly, I think this guy could have cleared the IS-4 and both E75s with no help whatsoever. 5,700 damage. He's now blocked 3,600 damage, but there is still a lot of hit points left. The enemy are coming around. Of course, they have 2 bases as well. Remember that, which is now up to 700 supremacy points, and they have started to cap C. So there's still a lot of hit points. You can see the STA, which is, yeah, I know it's only a tier 8, but he's still full hit points, and he can still cause problems by capping bases. So nearly 800 supremacy points now. If they're going to win this game, they really have to either take a base or do something, kill these tanks very, very quickly. So he's gone for the E4 there. Nice kill. 6,800 damage. The enemy are recapping base D, so he's now going to sit in base C, which is needed. They have to have this base. Are they going to keep it? No, he's not. He's actually going to get out of the base. That was actually a bad decision on his point, but he wants to go and clear this tank as soon as possible. So he just wants to clear these tanks as quick as possible now, because they are up to nearly 900 supremacy points. This is the right choice now to go for the Hori, because of course he is the lower hit point, and you can see him, like, basically he's just saying, backtrack, go get some bases. You're that light tank, you can get there quicker. But now it is a 2 versus 1. It is now on, the time is running out. 4,700 block damage, but the enemy are now up to 900 supremacy points. They have to take this guy out very, very, very quickly. And I think the back chat is now realized he has to take some bases, I think, or he's just going to hide. But now at this point, 970 supremacy points. He is a one shot. He has to pen. And of course he does. If he would have bounced that shot, it would have been a loss on supremacy points, and that is so frustrating, especially when you end on 9,324 damage. Absolutely crazy amount of damage. 2,200 base XP. The back chat does good as well. I mean, they could have done more in getting the supremacy points to make it not so tight, but you know, they took the kill, they took the win, and it was a great game, considering 2 of their teams did 0 damage and another 2 didn't even reach 1,000 damage. But nevertheless, a great game from 2 fantastic tanks. One of the best 2 in tier 10, in fact, especially heavies. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have replays like this, of course, send them to me and to be featured on the channel. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I will catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With